Capricorn. So here are the messages for July. Filming this on July 11th. Still enough time to utilize these messages. Another week. Maybe more, Yeah, I've been posting on shorts lately. So these messages, ones I'm about to read, you might have already heard. But I'm doing readings on the prompts, so that's the new thing I'm doing. Better than the Celtic crosses. It's like, yeah, information's cool. But I've been doing it for so long, like literally the same thing, and that's probably why channel's been feeling my channel's probably felt a little more stale, in my opinion. But maybe it's just me. People just like the messages regardless. I'm just talking reckless. I take it back. My messages are amazing. They help me out, so they gotta be good. I mean, they're good. They're good. There is no other value they need to have. So Capricorn, your message is so short, and I still almost had a hard time remembering it. Don't worry about opportunities until it's time. That's simply your message. Don't worry about opportunities until it's time. Don't be focused on the opportunities until you have to be. Don't be focused on the opportunities until you have to. And the chat GPT prompts, I put these in the chat GPT, I'm saying it gave me these amazing prompts to help the viewers and myself download these messages easier, quicker and smoother. So here's your prompts. What responsibility deserves my attention before possibility? What foundation needs strengthening first? What am I trying to skip ahead of? So we're going to read on all three. And right now I should actually recap all signs' trajectory. Taurus is the hardest to remember because I actually went back and did their messages the new way. Gemini got the first of the remix. So it's easier for Gemini, for me to remember Geminis. But Taurus is essentially like facing things head on, patiently, eagerly, So you miss nothing. Gemini is being able to trust yourself ultimately, so you wouldn't be mistrustful of situations. Just trust you can handle it. That was their message. Obvious stuff, probably reminders they need, we all need anyway. So that was their message for Gemini, In situations, the reality may be you don't trust yourself to handle it, even if it is whatever. So ultimately, nothing's worth worrying about to that degree. Just like Taurus, you just face it and, trust yourself to handle it regardless, because, that's really what matters. Cancer's message is being able to handle themselves while their inner emotions, they struggle with facing these new beliefs, new truths about themselves, essentially. Seeing past their emotional reactions to find out these are beliefs that are old, actually. So, and then Leo goes to maintaining themselves to the point to where they're not held back by the judgments, inner worries, right? Old ideas. And they're actually having a contest with themselves on how well they can execute expressing themselves, So Cancer's having an inner battle. Leo's performing. So clear-minded, they're performing. They're judging themselves and allowing themselves to be judged. They believe their moves are that fly. They want them to be judged. And that mentality is actually helpful for them, for Leo. So apparently this will help them, combat feeling hopeless, because you're clear-minded, you're good, In fact, executing things as smoothly and clearly as possible and judging yourself on how well you did that is 100% better than feeling hopeless, right? Because you are not allowed to feel hopeless in these times right now. That's the message. Leo's not allowed to feel hopeless. Forgive me, Capricorn. I just want to give you this quick spill to see how the trajectory is going. So Leo's judging their swagger, judging their player actions, their execution, of the being themselves, everything, eye contact, gestures, talk, right, help, insight. Virgo's owning the truth for themselves and what they want to do, really. It all goes into, a direction. Ultimately, that's what we're doing. That's the program you need, is you, the truth of you and what you want to do. It all grows into something condensed you-ness, right? Contracting you-ness things. You things for you. Libra's message after, so Virgo's about the truth of them, trueness of them, and what they want to do. Libra's about stilling the mind, going through the experience. Forgive me. I have to explain this. It's like roll call. It's like 91 bottles of beer on the wall, or on the first day of Christmas, So, and then we get on to Libra, still the mind. Scorpio is having tranquility through what feels risky or what causes anxiety, right? Somehow trick your mind into feeling tranquil as soon as anxiety pops up, as soon as things in your mind, you observe them, label them as risky, looking risky in your mind, right? Bottom line, find tranquility in these moments. So all these messages are like how you deal with essentially transforming subconscious beliefs, changing subconscious beliefs while being in the ride of the old belief, old feeling, old truth, right? Leaving, being disproven. And it's a good thing because have healthier beliefs that are proven now, real time. How do you do that? So next, Sagittarius. Trusting the first instinct. It was pretty much about handling, the pushback, disagree, because you have to agree yet still connect and still disagree. So you're still disagreeing with the belief. It's still hitting you emotionally, but you're still accepting it's not that way. Things are getting better. It'll work out. I understand. We click here. Like, that's the idea with people or with yourself. So that's another thing. It's all helping the subconscious mind, the immediate emotional reactions, split second judgments that might not be accurate, purely emotional. So how do you wrestle with that? And if you can follow the trajectory of all the signs, that's another message itself. After that, Capricorn. So essentially, your message is about being focused on work until play is working on you, knocking at your door. And think about it. Perfect, Saturn. Oh, you're a robot. I mean, if people zeroed in, what do they call that? What, locked in, right? Robots lock in on the task. Focus on the task. I said this before. locked in on ourselves like that. Like Virgo's message, just the truth of ourselves, who we are really. Like a robot, imagine how well you'd wear yourself. And you could judge yourself like Leo in your expressions and actions and stuff. So, to where being you looks, like meat falling off a bone, tender and stuff, delicious. What else? Yeah, I mean, it just makes being cool, being yourself cool, actually, for yourself. So the first prompt, the first question, what responsibility deserves my attention before possibility? Three cards to answer this question. The first one. The second one. The third one. So, Sagittarius, that sign, that message was aware of, okay, well, with the prompts, you're aware of, okay, my first clean instinct could still be, part of old react programming, beliefs, worries, right? Thought loops draining energy, to no longer shield yourself or prepare for the betrayal, to just see it through. And then with, that small action, because it's like a small disbelief, small lack of belief. That small percentage is holding back so much. I wouldn't say holding back so much. It's a healthy timer, hourglass about to go out that needs to help buffer, to help things smoothly transition, right? Because things gotta feel smooth, like Leo's message. We're so clear, we can actually feel smooth rather than like, why I feel hopeless when I can see how amazing I can be. Focus on judging in that way, you're not arrogant, you're just thinking healthier about yourself rather than thinking you're hopeless. How well can I be myself sincerely? That's not arrogance, Realize you got information. You get information from being yourself. Maybe that's just, you never. But that is true, though. Never mind. Let's get to these messages. Back to these messages. So, what deserves your responsibility before possibility? Your focus before possibility. That tendency to believe, my structure's so bad, my structure's so shitty, but I'll still write it out. I was actually talking to a Capricorn. Holy shit, this happened like not too long. I'm walking my dog, saw this person. I'll just keep it simple like that, Came up to me. And I was saying, are you doing good? You seem like you're doing good. Like, oh man, I'm still struggling. Things ain't all good. He honestly told me that. Which, yeah, he honestly admitted it. That's how I'm feeling. This is my experience in my world. Things aren't all good. He felt good enough to come up to me and shake my hand, though, Things aren't all good, apparently. So I'm like, all right, that's a bad thing to affirm. That's all I'm thinking. Like, man, why would you affirm that? What are you saying? Like, I wanted to say, watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth, man. Why are you thinking like that? Why are you talking to yourself like that? Why are you talking about yourself like that, really? Yeah, why are you talking about yourself like that? Not talking to yourself. But yeah. Because think about it. Anything that causes this emotion, the wands, these are the first action before manifestation, right? Before the physical. You gotta have the idea, the potential, the feeling, the idea, the mental picture, right? Then the emotion, or well, yeah, the feeling, then the physical. Wands, swords, cups, and then pentacles. So anything that gets messed up in the first part, obviously the action, the manifestation won't be good. You're getting a hold of it at the root. So pulling up that feeling is what we should tend to, so we can actually make this possibility actual produce, actual life, actual tangible goods to nourish us, to nourish others, to just the experience of great taste, just to enjoy the amazing flavor, right? So handle all that homework, that inner work. The next question. What foundation needs strengthening first? Yes. So here's how I like reading. It's like it's a spiritual pill. I'd rather say a spiritual pill. It's a spiritual pill for the emotional symptoms of the month. And if we handle these things correctly each month, stack on these A's, ace these months, stack on these A pluses. This is a programming that you're doing and that you're investing. You're investing in yourself. Literally. So let's see what needs strengthening first. I mean, pretty sure I just spoke on it, but 3 cards. What needs strengthening first? What foundation needs strengthening first? Look at that. So then, if I'm correct, the first spread didn't have a major. It's the King of Pentacles. Fuck. I gotta watch it back to see if we had another. But we got Aries here for the other sign. Now we got Leo. So this is what foundation needs strengthening. Queen of Wands, so it was King of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands was last. It's gonna annoy me. But yeah, the foundation that needs strengthening is the attitude, the self-attitude, attitude of self. So that is, because like I said for Sagittarius, on the front end you're like, okay, I'm preparing for betrayal, but I'll still show up and show through. That is still a slight shade of low energy, coloring our palette. That's still changing the colors of the whole palette. So that slight mistrust, misbelief in the situation is still there. So it was Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles. Oh my God, it's gonna bother me so fucking much. I want to say it was Ace of Wands in reverse. Damn. Oh well, I gotta watch the video back. But yeah, now I can read Aries and Leo's messages to see what clues we can get from their messages. But yeah, you pretty much recognize like now you're gonna hold yourself down through the shifting of these attitudes, which you know, it's funny how it's still technically subconscious, but it's what you express openly. So going into things with this defense already, so that's probably what it is. You know, but it's still somehow helpful. But it's even better to be clear, you know. It's bothering me. I wish I could remember the other card. What am I trying to skip ahead of the next prompt? So we'll just stick to Leo and Aries and Leo. So. But yeah, it was King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. I know it was the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Oh well. Let's see what comes out in this spread. These just popped out. Yeah. I mean, that's what it takes. You know, you're tending to what's important, which means, you know, not wasting too much time. So, yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I could have been sitting there trying to figure that out.